Today I'm battling a trifecta of Disney musical threequels. It's High School Musical 3 Senior Year versus Descendants 3 versus Zombies 3 on this episode of Film Face-Offs. Here's a fun bit of trivia for you right off the bat. Every single one of these movies got a different kind of release. High School Musical 3 was good enough to get released into theaters, Descendants 3 was so bad that they decided to keep it on the Disney Channel, and Zombies 3 was so mediocre that they decided to shove it on Disney+. There's no reason to bring that up, I just wanted to. The cast of the High School Musical franchise is unbeatable in my eyes, at least when it comes to Disney Channel movies. Where it comes to Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, Lucas Grabeel, Ashley Tisdale, Corbin Bleu, many of these actors have had very respected careers, especially Efron and Hudgens. And even when it comes to the side characters, we still get great performances, and you can tell everybody is giving it their all for this movie. I mean, Kenny Ortega seems to really know how to get the best out of these actors. No one is half-assing it, even when it comes to the side characters who barely get a line, like Zeke, Jason, or Mrs. Darbus. Mrs. Darbus has more than a few lines, but everyone is giving it their all in this movie, which is not something I can say for Descendants 3. While these are very talented actors, and they were very good in the first two movies, most of them anyway, everybody looks miserable in this movie. There's not a single good performance, except for maybe Cheyenne Jackson as Hades. He's the only one who seems like he's having any fun, but everybody else looks miserable and like they're just waiting for their contracts to be up. Everybody looks like they're just waiting for Ortega to yell cut. And these are talented actors too. Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Cameron Boyce, Boo Boo Stewart, Cheyenne McLean. These are good actors who have done good things, but they look so miserable in this movie. And it's hard not to notice. Even during this, other than the song sequences, everybody looks miserable. And I wasn't a huge fan of Sarah Jeffries' performance for the other reason. She went over the top and not in a fun way. It was horribly distracting and the performance was laughably bad. Dead in the middle right here, we have Zombies 3, where all of the actors seem like they're having fun, and Milo Manheim, I think that's how you say him, and Meg Donnelly have some good chemistry with each other, and the other actors do pretty decent as well, but there are some performances that aren't necessarily bad, but I think are given poor direction, especially the guy who plays Bucky. This character is not only unlikable as hell, he's annoying as hell, and the actor's delivery is way over the top, and again, not in a fun way. It's just obnoxious. And I can't blame the actor, because that's how the character's been throughout all these movies. It's how the character's written and directed. And speaking of directing, Kenny Ortega also did Descendants 3, and you know how I said that he knew how to get the best out of his actors in High School Musical 3? Well, apparently they also need good writing to back it up, because Descendants 3 had no good writing, but we'll get to that in a second. But all the actors in Zombies 3, again, are at least giving it their all. There's no one half-assing it. Even when it comes to the aliens who are supposed to be emotionless throughout the majority of the movie, they still have... the actors are still able to emote, unlike Descendants 3. So, let's move on to the stories. High School Musical 3 is basically high schoolers trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives after high school, and while putting on a play, and that's kind of it. You don't need a super deep or complex plot, and they do a lot with this idea. You hardly ever see high school movies where they're allowed to think about what they want to do with their lives before this movie came out, especially when it comes to Disney movies. And it does bring up a lot of interesting questions when it comes to the characters. Are they going to stay together? Are they going to drift apart? Are they going to go to the same college? Are they going to college at all? Do they have other aspirations that they want to do? It raises a lot of interesting questions, and the movie takes advantage of it. It shows the dilemmas of people graduating high school. Where do they want to go? What's the best choice for them? And you see people being pushed and pulled in so many different directions, to the point where characters are kind of splitting up a bit. And the song sequences definitely help to represent that, but we'll get to those in a second. Descendants 3 has a needlessly complicated plot that is utterly stupid. Aurora's granddaughter Audrey steals the steals the staff of Maleficent because she's pissed off that Mal gets to be queen, even though she seemed to be okay with it with the end of the first movie, and she didn't show up in the second movie. So we're already at a huge plot hole, and a bunch of uninteresting shit happens, and she doesn't really do much with this all-powerful staff. She does, like, the most basic Disney references you can get, and not much else. Like I said, it's needlessly complicated. It's not necessarily like the basic plot is complicated. It's like there's so many stupid details that amount to nothing. Like, there's this stone that Mal needs because Audrey turns her old, because, again, she has no creativity with this damn staff. But it's supposed to keep her young. She has to hold on to it, and if it gets wet, it doesn't work. Why? Because I'm assuming because Hades and fire, and I think you can pretty much put the pieces together there. But then it's tossed in water near the end of the movie, but nothing happens. So it feels like this entire plot point was utterly pointless, and not only that, it wastes a fun idea of having Mal in this old woman makeup for a while. She's in it for all of 30 seconds before she magically turns back because the magic there doesn't work in the Isle of the Lost. Whatever. And again, most of the characters are unlikable. Like, even the main characters, they're not likable anymore. Mal has never been a likable protagonist. And she's so much worse here. She's a whiny bitch, and I can't stand the character. Zombies 3 already has a dumb plot from the first movie, where it's about zombies that just look like pasty humans with green hair. It's ridiculous, and it gets even more, and then they throw in the werewolves, and then they get the aliens in this movie, which is absolutely ridiculous. They don't really go into the ideas that you can, the opportunities you can have by characters having to deal with the fact that we are not alone in this universe. But unlike High School Musical 3, where with its plot, it tried to do as much as it could with its plot. This movie tries to do the bare bone minimum. Like, aliens arrive, and they barely question it after the opening song sequence, after the first song sequence. Like, they never think about the implications this could have on their world. Because honestly, I don't know how big their world is. We only see Seabrook. We don't see the rest of the planet. This could be the only place that's left. So it makes this entire thing feel incredibly small and not very interesting. And it doesn't help that these alien characters aren't very interesting characters anyway. They're just looking for a map in Seabrook. And not only is the twist of Addison being an alien stupid as hell and never set up ahead of time, it's just a plot contrivance. And not only that, I saw the twist of her being the most precious thing in Seabrook coming from a mile away. The alien twist I didn't see coming because it was never set up and was incredibly stupid. And a lot of this just doesn't make a lot of sense, and it ends up right where they left off, because God forbid we actually split some characters up like we do at the end of High School Musical 3. Because this movie really wants to be the High School Musical 3. The new High School Musical 3. Even to the point where it didn't go straight to the Disney Channel and it went to Disney+. But it doesn't work. And the side plot of Zed getting into the college, again, just kind of feels like an afterthought by the end. So, let's move on to the next round, which normally would be, like, action or effects or something, but in this case, it's going to be the musical numbers. High School Musical 3 has a lot of great musical numbers, not only ones that work well with the story and really dive into what the characters are thinking, specifically Scream, which is not only the best song in the franchise, it definitely deserved an Oscar for Best Original Song that year. I will fight you on that. But there are a lot of other great songs, but yeah, a lot of them are just there for fluff, but they're still very catchy songs, and the musical sequences are done very well. Yeah, the final, the play is kind of cheesy, but it works enough for kids. But then you have, like, Now or Never as the opening song. That song, like, could go on any workout playlist, I swear to God. And the final number, High School Musical, that seems like a perfect way to wrap up the series until that shitty the stupid Disney Plus show came on, and I will never watch that. Don't even ask. But every single song here at least works with the story. Descendants 3 has a lot of songs that feel like they're thrown in there just to pad out the length of the movie. And not only that, they are bad. Well, I take that back. Do What You Gotta Do is a pretty fun number. And maybe it's just Cheyenne. Maybe it's just because Cheyenne Jackson's having more fun than literally everybody else in this project. But I had fun with that. Night Falls is good. But the soundtrack version's better because the movie version's brought down by horrible audio mixing and some really bad auto tuning, some laughable choreography. Not just in the fighting, but then they beat them by dancing. They beat knights by dancing. That's just stupid. And then the opening number, Good to Be Bad. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. And the final number, Break This Down, again, could be worse, but it was definitely the weakest of the finale numbers, and Good to Be Bad was easily the weakest of the opening numbers. But other than that, the songs are terrible. Like, My Once Upon a Time, terrible. One Kiss Can Kiss My Ass. Oh my god, that song is so bad. Queen of Mean, I don't understand how that song got so fucking popular. That song is terrible, mostly because Sarah Jeffrey cannot rap. You have this actress who can really sing, and you have her rap, and she can't rap. It was the same thing with It's Going Down in the second movie, where... What was that? Where neither China Anne McClain nor Dove Cameron could rap. So... Yeah, Descendants 3, pretty much a failure when it comes to the music. Zombies 3 has some good ones. Exceptional Zed was a lot of fun, and ain't no doubt about it, it's a decent song, and the other ones are just kind of varying degrees of just okay. Come On Out is decent, but it's filmed like a music video, and it's really distracting. The Alien Invasion song is fine. I'm Finally Me is decent, but it's very derivative of a song with the exact same title from Austin and Ally, so... There goes that. The final number was short and kind of pointless. But, yeah, so the music's just kind of a hit and miss. So, in conclusion, I feel like this was a really one-sided film face-off, but that can't be helped. High School Musical 3 was one of my childhood movies, and even as an adult, it still holds up. It's still a good film. I can see adults watching it and not really getting into it. I get it. But I have seen adults that legitimately like this movie, much like I do. Descendants 3 is a crap fest. It should never be watched again. Zombies 3 was just a meh movie. So, High School Musical 3 takes the easy win here. Descendants 3 is dead last, dead in the corner somewhere. So, yeah, that's all for this one, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.